We're live. Who all do
We
we
are
have?
live.
You like Dallas's steering wheel there? So like
Yeah,
the
you can.
it just happens, got nothing on that. Got the NSB here early, and Bubba. Rapid Transit J says you might be a little late. That's cool.
Oh,
Hit
I'm
me in the
trying to think.
78.
How did I see the chat last time?
Yeah, go over to the comments on the right hand side. Dallas is on his phone. He's on the road. Where are you going, to Iowa this weekend?
I'm on my way to Iowa.
Cool.
I'm in Hannibal, Missouri.
Hannibal, Missouri.
Yeah, in the parking lot.
You in a safe place to hang out?
Yeah, last time I was in a place that I thought I was going to get arrested, but here seems to be a little bit better, and I got good reception, so I figured might as well just do it here.
Good deal. Good deal. Big Mike's Hoopty Barn. We got Ari in the house. We got Junk Car Willie. Just Mopar Joe. Look at this. Just Mopar Joe's already got his trophy. He's already showing us he's going to win something. Turlo's saying, people here already? Yeah, people here already. This is a fun place to hang. Got Bubba here. JB's little shop. Out on the grill waiting for live. Good place to be. JB's got some cool stuff going on in his place. And Turlo says, just remember to tickle the thumbs up. Well, I appreciate that. Bill McKyska, glad you're here. Turlo says, yep, we can start. If we've got Turlo's blessing, we're going to start. Rude Mopar Dude, who's not rude at all. Greg McDonald, Dean Stevenson. Oh, my goodness.
Are you saying he's a courteous? Are you saying he's a courteous Mopar dude?
He is, but he goes by Rude Mopar Dude, but he's actually a really courteous Mopar dude. Lout Burns, the Dutch guys. Good to see you guys. They actually have one of those super coupes. You know, the Richard Petty edition. I don't know if it's a Volare or Aspen, but it's the F body that came with 43 on the side and the extra wide wheels.
Yeah, cool. No, I do. I do know that one. That was it's got louvers on the back too, right?
Yeah, it's got lots of stuff like big fender flares. Torque Racing Productions, glad you're here. Jason, glad you could make it. Frank McCart. Mom's in the house. Yeah, streaming in good now. Hoosier Garage is here. Yeah. Thumper, glad you could make it. Yeah, see, we're streaming in quick. It's hard to keep track of who all's jumping in. I see Cletus. Glad you could make it, Cletus.
Hey, just FYI, I can't look at the chat at the same time as my as the camera, right? It's on my phone.
I see Ricky Jeray's here. And by the way, if you haven't seen what Jeray did recently, he got his best ET ever in the Duster. Those guys went to the track and started about a 12. I don't know what was it, Ricky, about like a 12-ish, something like that. They left that day with an 1191. Car picked up 0.2 over the course of the day. Really good stuff. They are nailing it. And Jeray, too, he is getting very close to taking checkered flag on the No Name 500. Let's see here. Jeray he's in fourth place at 432, minus whatever he got during the course of today. J-Bo's here. Oh, look at that. Ron English is here. We got backups. We got English backup today. He's a cool cat. Bikes with Turlo. Glad you could make it. So you guys are probably familiar with Turlo's Garage. Bikes with Turlo. That's Turlo's son. And he's got a cool channel. He's in the No Name 500. So, yeah, be watching for him. He says, I'm a great American. Thank you. Dust Devil's here. Track and Travel with Rick. Sort of Stock Mopars. Dr. Art, glad you could stop by. All right. Looks like got a good crowd in here. And Tall John. All right, man. So we just wanted to let you guys, we do this every other week, you know, depending on what Dallas and our schedule is. Generally Dallas, he's doing a lot of traveling this time of year. And for those just came in, you're in Hannibal, Missouri, on your way to Iowa, right?
Yep.
What's
I'm
the
in
event in
Hannibal.
Iowa?
I'm in Hannibal on my way to Humboldt, Iowa. Or I'm in Hannibal, Missouri, on my way to Humboldt, Iowa, for their season opener.
Season opener. What's the event? Is it a bracket?
It's a bracket. It's AHRA performance-based payout brackets.
Oh, sweet.
Yep.
We wanted to tell you guys just a little bit, just in general. We made a recon trip right after the live where I was at Dallas's a couple weeks ago, and comments crack me up a little bit as we go. We went out there to Jeffers, took a walking wheel, measured the whole track. Dallas has got a blueprint in the works to show us the parking. But I can say this, if we were to give the paved parking away to who's registered already, we wouldn't have enough. We have more than enough participants right now to take all of the paved parking. So, and that's okay. We got lots of dead flat manicured grass pits like the old school, but so we're not full by any means, but that was a worthy recon trip. I'm working right now. Unfortunately, I had other things that cropped up to deal with this week, but I am out on my desk editing a commercial for the No Name Nationals. You guys are probably get a kick out of that. You'll recognize some of the talent in the commercial. Dean says non-member, so I can time me out. No, actually, I don't do channel memberships or anything like that. Nothing like that. Cletus says going to be a big car show in the morning, handing out flyers. Awesome. Cletus, yeah, it's funny. I had somebody email me about Cletus asking, and I said, he is our ambassador. Cletus is a great ambassador for this.
Is Cletus anywhere near Sykeston?
Cletus is near just Mopar Joe in Arkansas.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it's not far.
I did not realize that. Next time I go out there to see Joe, I'll hit up Cletus. You know what I say? The chat just got faster. The Nelsons are in the house. Sweet. Buck does it. Glad you could make it, Buck. Unfinished project is here. Dart Sport. Mopar Den is here. Good to see you. We don't see much of Mopar Den as we used to, but I'm really glad to see him tonight. Dude Mopar, glad you're in the house, man. And we get our regular update from Levi. He's at 384 and watching while driving. Oh, don't watch while you drive, man. Don't watch while you drive. You can hang out, listen, whatever, but be safe, man.
Pull over. I did.
Yeah, we'll give you the update. Levi's at 116 to go. He's starting to get excited. He should. Family Garage. Glad you guys are here. Oh, by the way, Family Garage. So they have a beautiful 70 Super B. Okay, looks like it's plumb crazy. Really good looking car. I click on the video. I noticed the heads are off of it. So that's always I hope nothing too serious. What happened with your B, man? Dust Devil's asking you if you drove through St. Louis.
I did, and I'll give you the rundown on it. Right as I got into St. Louis, where I-64 meets I-70, I downshifted from fifth gear to fourth gear and to climb on up that bridge, and my trusty shifter handle broke off the transmission. Right, so I've been driving literally with like the inch-tall nub and a screwdriver that's baling wired to the freaking shift nub. But I did go through St. Louis, and it was fun to say the least because I got stuck in all that stop-and-go traffic with no shifter handle. So I had a nub about an inch tall.
So how far were you from home when that shifter handle broke off?
Oh, dang. 7 hours? Or no, not that far. Let's see, 4 hours to Paducah. Probably 6 hours.
How much farther did you have to go, though?
Oh, man. I still had 8 hours left to get to Humboldt.
And then you got to go back all of that.
I got to go back with no shifter handle.
Oh, wait a minute. When you go to the track, can't you find somebody that'll spot weld that thing back on?
That's what I'm hoping for.
And then just not shift it like you're trying to get your best time in the quarter?
Yeah, and I don't know if I ever shifted it like that. It's just this one. It looks at, but if you look at the end of it, it looks like it's probably just been shifted so many times that it metal fatigued in half. So, which is kind of weird because this is like a. If you look at it, it's probably I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, but it's only half of it that's part of the shifter knob. It's got a notch here where it connects to the handle, and it would have this ear hanging out off the end of here with 2 holes in it connected to the shift nub.
Colleen Tebow, glad you're here. She had a Chevette do that to her. By the way, don't let Dallas fool you. The grass does not grow under that truck when he's driving. We made good time getting out to Jeffers.
Yeah, I don't wait around.
No. Dust Devil says swing by the shop. He said you drove 5 minutes past my shop. There you go. Maybe you can swing in there.
Well, you just need to shoot me an address.
Yeah, do that. Do that. If you need to get it to Dallas, I can, or I can help with that. So Aaron there, Pickerwood Customs Aaron, all the way from Australia, the land down under in DRC. Glad you could make it. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Stephen Holtz. Stephen Holtz has a pretty cool road trip video on his channel I was watching. I like that kind of stuff. So anyway, check that out.
I did check that out. He's got a huge road trip video, yeah.
Yeah. Shop Cat. I love that logo, by the way. I get the biggest kick out of that. I think he said he changes the colors up for whatever reason. I think that's pretty hot. DRC says, I'm 80 subs away from coming from Florida. Cool, man. So I take it you're at 420. You're close. You're close. Steven says it was fun.
There's a lot of them that's about ready to finish it. The No Name 500, that is.
Yes. So because we didn't quite have enough time to get it all in before this, but we have it in the works, we're going to do some really cool signage for this event you guys are going to enjoy. Like on the starting line, we went out and measured the walls, and we're going to have No Name National signs on the concrete walls. I mean, this is going to look really nice and professional. This is going to look like a starting line at Gainesville, or a national event. NHRA track's going to have nothing on this. Yeah, good stuff. By the way, I see Buzz in the house. Glad you could make it. Hard-working man right there. Always, I got to say, Buzz has really exceeded my expectations. I mean, not just sponsoring the event, but what he's doing for the No Name 500 is unreal. These guys, not only helping them build their channels, he has done logos. He has helped them tune their pages for maximum performance. He does a lot. That guy really, he's an asset to this event. Not just the No Name 500, but this event. But No Name 500 wouldn't be anything it was without him. So I really got to shout him out. He's been something else. Tall Garage. I'm here and working in the shop, missing the show. Well, join anytime, man. Creedence Chrysler Revival. Can't stick around, working my life away. Yeah, I know. He's been really busy. I'm really anxious to see what happens with that head, that cylinder head. He's doing a max effort port job, relocated push rods and all, which I think is really cool. Dutch guys, or Dude Mopar says last view is pushing 6,000 views. He's got some fast stuff. I can see that. Garage Weekend, nothing but. Bubba Ayers project is going to be close. Bubba is getting really closing in on his checkered flag. Bubba is 463 subs. So he is only 37 away. And 113 cycles, he's even closer. He's at 471. Those guys are the top two in the running right now. There's Irish Outlaw Garage. By the way, Irish Outlaw Garage, he put up a video. I don't want to spoil anything. He sent me a picture of what he's planning to bring to the event. It is too cool. I would be shocked if we saw a second one there. It's really cool. And I don't know, Irish Outlaw, are you planning? I don't know if you can tell me if you've already announced what you're bringing. But are you planning on running that on the track? Because I know I've never seen that go down a track before. Hey, too many to admit. Yes. Yes. Kim fixes things in the house. Bubba's at 458. Okay. Well, sometimes that happens, but you'll get on up there. Patrick. Cool, man. Glad you're here. Yeah, getting real close. I really like to greet and engage with the chat. I mean, that's why we do it, but we just don't want to forget. We want to tell you some things about our trip. We've scoped out the Burnout area, and have you talked with Jeffers anymore about that? Because we talked with him. Yeah, we talked with him when we went out there and scoped out that area. We are working on giving you guys a big Australian style
burnout pad.
Yeah, man, not just a station. This is like where you can really cut loose. So we're working on that too.
And it's unlike anybody else's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is yeah. There's gonna be a lot of original. Yeah, there's another thing. We can't spoil the surprise, but I think that I'm kind of conflicted. Do we put this in the next commercial when next time we go out there, or do we leave it as a surprise? But we're going to do something for the Burnout contest you've never seen before. At least I've never seen it. Jeremy Finley in the house. Good to see you, man. And now that it's May, Jeremy, I need to get with you on doing a feature with you, like we talked about. SR pieces, I need plenty of. Well, you're going to have all kinds of. In fact, what was it, Dallas? About 150 by 80 something.
Oh, I can't remember what the number is off the top of my head. I got it written down on the map. I think it's 160 by 90 or something like that.
Something like that. You're going to have room to cut loose. Just before Joe put up the link for Bubba. I don't see 113 cycles. Bubba's here. Bubba is close. So if you want to go check out Bubba's channel, I mean, they always got to earn the sub, but we're happy to send people the traffic because these guys, their talent is never going to be denied. They earn their own subs. We just try to help people know they're there.
And help them.
All right, Jeremy, we'll do.
Help them make their channel efficient, right? That's what it's all about. I mean, you do all the effort and all the work to get the content. You might as well get to maximize the YouTube itself to help you get as many views as possible and subs.
I agree. I mean, that's the thing. Everything has a purpose, right? And the purpose of this race before the race is it's a subscriber race, okay? There's so many more things about a channel and so many more important things about a channel. The subscribers themselves are the lifeblood of the channel, not the number, but the people themselves. But we just had to find some metric that made sense for this content creator event. And we're sticking to our guns because I really believe that in future years, I mean, and this race has already proven to be just really added a great dimension to this event. So it's already great. It's just, I think that it's going to, into the future, we'll see even better out of the No Name 500. And Roadkill Customs has been phenomenal, and I would love to see that relationship just continue into the future and get better and better.
Right. Yeah, well, Dust Devil said, is the plan to still invade Lambert's on Thursday night? It's funny, John and I went there, and they won't do a reservation even 9 months out, right? Or however long it was. Was it 5 months out? They wouldn't do a reservation for 150 people. We tried.
Yeah.
They said, first come, first serve. Get your 150 people here as fast as possible on that Thursday night.
They will take a party of 150 people. They will do that. So it looks like the plan's going to be on Thursday. Dallas and I are going to be there, and some other volunteers who very graciously volunteered to help us set up. They're going to help us, and any of you guys, but Thursday's a work day. Okay, so it's not a hangout day. We got to get the place up and running, right? So Thursday, we're going to work all day. And then whatever's probably about the latest in the evening where we can reasonably still go to dinner, where we're not pushed, like maybe a couple hours before they close, we'll go over together and just invade Lambert's. It's a big place, but we're going to have a big group. That's the plan. Smacky says, I like electric, but I'm an electrician. Story about electric stuff today. My aunt calls me in Georgia, and the fan will not turn on their Chrysler Pacifica, right? And I think it has something to do with the AC, and they need to drive it to Virginia. And I said, well, make you a jumper wire and go from the battery to the fan, or 87 in the relay. Walked them through it, and these guys, they figured it out, got their fan running. They'll drive up, and we'll fix it. How cool is that? Bad tree in the house. Thank you, Blake.
Bad tree. Man, I'm on my way to your home state there, Bad Tree.
Mopar Den says we'll be at the No Name Nationals no matter what. Too epic to miss. You know what? I think it's going to be a wonderful event, and I don't think anybody's going to change that.
I agree. I want to make it. Well, I would like for it to be the biggest event so that there's a lot of people that can eat some crow.
By the way, Mopar Den, what are you, about 364 subs? Mopar Den has not been lobbying for subs publicly, but I'm telling you, he's really close, and we want him to participate. Super cool guy. I've met him. He's a friend. He's got a 72 Coronet, and he's got a few other things. He's got a fleet, but I'm really hoping he'll bring some horsepower to the event. Hey, speaking of that, look at that, like clockwork. I mentioned the Pacifica, and my Aunt Nancy's in the house. Check that out. Give Aunt Nancy a hand. She did her first cooling fan repair today.
Oh, was it the cooling fan, not the blower fan?
No, man, she's a warrior. She jumped under the hood and jumped power to her cooling fan and everything. She's a boss. Mopar Den's at 355. There you go, 145 away. So.
Well, you need 5 more to get out to a Mopar number. Get off that Chevrolet 30 over.
That's a stock car-ish number. We can go with that. Ed's Machine says hi. How you doing? Good to see you, Ed.
It's Gene.
Dean says, I'm always behaving myself, never slips up. Guess depends who you ask, but I sure try, man. Thank you. Raker's in the house. Good to see you, man. Let's check this out. So Buck and Smack, you're working on this. They start it, idle the car out of the garage, and then got to move it a bit. It loses choke and opens up. Sounds good. Lunar, what's going on, man? I see Lunar here. Glad you could make it, buddy. Levi is here. Hopefully be testing the Laguna on 10 pounds of boost next week. Yeehaw. Cannot wait.
Oh, he's got the LS all sorted out.
He's been running it at, 2.5? He's been running it at like leaf blower pressure, right? And now he's going to turn it up. So
turn it up.
It's going to be exciting.
Well, last I saw his videos, he had a problem with the oiling system on it, I think.
Yeah, something like that, but we knew he'd rally. E-Fog's in the house. Dust Devil is here. I actually talked to Dust Devil today. He periodically checks in on me. Dust Devil, this, I've kind of named this countdown clock after Brian, Dust Devil Garage Brian there. This is the Brian Dust Devil countdown clock. I kind of gave it the naming thing. Family Garage says Sykeson's only 13 hours. That's the spirit. It's only 13 hours. There are people coming from literally just about twice that far. So 13's a long drive, but it's doable. I'm really glad you got it.
Isn't it NSB? Aren't they coming from like Florida?
We got people coming from a long way.
Yeah, well, there's people coming from Washington State. It's like 13 hours is their last part or their last day.
I know that one participant is coming from 2,286 miles, the coast of Washington. So, yeah, and that's even farther than our Canadians up in Alberta. Actually, well, I don't know where Mongrel is because Mongrel's now registered. Family's Garage bringing 2 cars right on.
Sweet.
Yeah, they got some kind of cool factor I like. Bearrow's coming from Idaho. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a lot of long haulers coming to this. Hoosier's got 5 hours. So glad Hoosier will be there. Bikes with Turlo coming from Washington. I'm glad you told me that. I wasn't sure where you guys were located. That's cool. All hail the long haulers. Absolutely. Couldn't be happier to see all these people traveling from so far. What is that? What's JB saying there? JB is saying sitting around with the birthday boy Lars. We'll have to give Lars a hard time for his birthday. The wrench. This is interesting. I just did a CCP test and turned 135 without the supercharger. Maybe I'll have to up it from 6 to 10. Crank it up. Yeah, Dust Devil's practically local, and he's dreading his drive.
Brian's not dreading his drive. He literally lives like an hour and a half from there.
Right. Brian, are you one of these people that dreads having to drive across town to the supermarket? Come on, admit it.
He should be dreading the thrash on his car.
E-Fog, glad you're here, man.
Hey.
Yeah, Jason says 7.5 hours, 510 miles one way for us. I know when I travel, I like to spread it out. I don't like to just, dive bomb to try to meet the estimated time on the GPS. I would rather allow more time, stretch, hydrate, than try to fly on down. But, everybody's got a way they like to do it.
Oh, yeah, well, for these trips to Iowa, I like to go slow and steady wins the race, right? But then I ended up just thrashing on the truck all afternoon on the side of the interstate with baling wire. So, yeah, I'll probably end up driving through part of the night, and then luckily I brought my mobile bed. I got the snail on the back of the truck, so I can just crawl back there and go to sleep.
We got some interesting. The great thing about doing this is that in the beginning, the first few months, all of the updates were on us, right? Because they were early in their builds, and we had a lot. And we still have a lot going. Don't get me wrong, but it was just a mountain in the beginning. Now these guys are really getting like deep into their builds, and so they got a lot of updating. It's really cool. So Levi is trying to get his old lady to bring her Buick for a front-wheel drive burnout contest.
I tell you what's going to change for me. Right now, I've been kind of like a one-legged man in the proverbial butt-kicking contest, and now it's about to change because I got somebody working with me now. So they start on Monday.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Now I should be able to put out some content and catch up with all the crap I got going on. And still make all the events.
That's excellent, man. I'm happy. We all win. We all win when Dallas has got good stuff going on. Lunar Brian is saying I picked up a spare engine the other day just in case the supercharger blows it up. No Name Nationals, waits for it, no excuses. Waits for no one. That's right.
Tell you what, Lunar needs to send me some info about that SP3 single plan intake manifold he's got on his Buick small block, and I wouldn't mind taking that off his hands if he's want to get rid of it. I need to cut one of those up so I can put it on a Buick 300.
Yeah, see, now that we're starting to get into May, it's getting crunch time, and all these guys have great stories about what's going on in their builds. So the wrench says, I got one of those $50 distributors on eBay, and it has 60 degrees of advance built in. I got it to crank over at 10 and made it lock out at 28 as soon as it starts. Yeah. How about that?
He says good distributor.
Robert in Case Mopar Inn doesn't see that. He is in the freer part of New York. I guess somewhere close to Bryan. See, My mom greets Lunar Brian. Lunar Brian greets my mom. When Lunar was down here, I don't know how long that was, Brian, what, a couple months ago? We had lunch. She helped us even film a little bit. Very nice.
Oh, is that when he was on the big road trip?
Yes. Yes. That was when Cousin Eddie refueled his Buick on the way.
He went down and got another Buick, right? Another
Yes.
Skylark?
Yeah, that was a fun little adventure. But see, by the time he got to me near the end of his return, he had all those bugs sorted out.
What's he want to do with the other one?
I don't know. I won't speak for him. He's in here. I'll tell you what was interesting, though, and this is a story that you probably didn't see anywhere. But Brian, you can chip in wherever you want. So we go, we so he lives in New York, and there's no Chick-fil-A there, right? So that's like a gourmet treat to people up north because they don't have those. Here we have them everywhere, right? Like
God's chicken, yeah.
That's like kudzu here. It's every corner. Well, so he's asking what's good to eat. He's asking what we have. I said, well, what are you hungry for? He said, man, there's one place I could go. I'd like to go to Chick-fil-A. I said, I'm sitting like a quarter of a mile from a Chick-fil-A right now. So I said, just get off the exit. We'll meet there for lunch. So we go there for lunch, and he rolls up in this Buick. He's got cameras mounted all over it, right? And I roll up in the Cousin Eddie van with the Cousin Eddie hat and all. And we roll in, and it's not, people aren't used to that. So it looked real different going in there to order and everything. Then we roll over to O'Reilly's, and again, it's the same thing. It's just like a crew you don't normally see, different vehicles, different stuff. And the guys at O'Reilly's got a kick out of it. He had GoPros all over that car. They were looking at it like it was they were looking at it like when Michael J. Fox crashed a DeLorean in Back to the Future into the barn. They're like, oh, is that a spaceship? They were looking at his Buick that way because he had all his cameras mounted everywhere. Yeah, man, you're not kidding. Those people, they got it right.
Well, they call it God's chicken, right?
I don't know, but they got it right. They got it right. I got a friend that grew up right there in the same town as the Dwarf House, which was the restaurant that became Chick-fil-A. That was true at Kathy's first restaurant. So he used to eat at the Dwarf House. He's had a birthday. He's 83, but he knew Truett Kathy and all that. Cool. Colleen Tebow said, son and I are putting a new tank and sending unit in 71 Dart. Excellent. I've done that job. You'll have a lot of fun. What's that?
Wear some safety glasses. Oh, and here, Mopar's kind of like the early Buicks, they have the build sheets underneath the gas tank. So when you drop the tank, you might get lucky and find the build sheet.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I had no idea. RC Industry is from Southern Indiana. Good to see you.
Who was saying they weren't going to make it? D. Scaglione?
D. Scaglione probably won't be able to make No Name. Yeah, man. You know what? If you can make it, we'll be glad to see you. If not, we understand. We appreciate you. Thanks for Super Chat, man. And Dean says doing sign language out of hearing range. One of my aunts is fluent in sign language. That's her thing. I am not. I'm in trouble if I go deaf. You guys are down south with access to real food and you choose chicken. It's I guess it's just kind of a southern cult food kind of thing, man.
Ari, you're wrong. You're so wrong. Chick-fil-A is good.
Not up north. MM78 says he likes Chick-fil-A. And most people do. There's a few people like, but then there's some people that.
My kids love it, so I take them there probably, I don't know, twice a year, maybe.
No Name Nationals needs to be a place to have a Whataburger. I've eaten a Whataburger once. We don't have them here. Danny Boy, have you?
Yeah, those things are awesome.
Yeah, it was good. No, it was good. I ate at one. I can't remember where I was traveling through when they had one.
Texas.
Probably something like that. Danny
That's
Boy,
where they came from. Yeah.
Is that where it came from? I think I was. I think
Yeah.
I was somewhere out west. I can't really remember. It's been a few years ago. Danny Boyd to say in 1981, I first heard of Chick-fil-A. You know, one of the early Chick-fil-A's opened up in our local mall in Bluefield in November of 1980. And it's still there. It may be, I think there are only 2 original tenants in that mall that are still there since it's opened in 1980. Chick-fil-A and JCPenney. The only 2. Every other store has turned over at some time, and most of them several times. But so I've been eating Chick-fil-A since I was like 3.
I'd never even had it till I was probably 29.
They used to give away samples, like in the middle of the mall. They've knocked that stuff off. They're like, no, everybody's heard of us now. Salem.
Now the only sample they give you is like a napkin sample.
That's it. Yeah, most of the malls are going by the wayside. Thank you, Mo Pardin. I appreciate it. Yeah, Mo. It's
Thank you so much.
But we appreciate that. That's, thanks a bunch, man. I put it back in the channel. I don't live off of it. It goes back in the channel. But thank you. I appreciate it. Unfinished project still at 182. Unfinished project, was that you in that video running the pressure washer? Because if so, that's the most you've ever been on camera. Was that you?
Oh,
Danny Boyd says Chick-fil-A's like drugs. First one is free. Well, I'll tell you what, you can make a case for that when they were doing the nugget samples.
I just remember seeing the billboards like in the 90s. The ones that had the cows on there that would say, eat more chicken.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That came it came a while back, but it was cute.
No, Bikes with Turlo, they're saying that they're at 33 subscribers and still have to build a car.
He just joined. He's Andy Turlo's kid, so he's got a good mentor. He'll make it happen.
Go get something that they made a zillion of, but yet it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching.
Pacer.
I'm subscribed. Check out Bikes with Turlo. Andrew Nelson asked, will be food vendors at the NNN. You know what? There's going to be so many people who are grilling and stuff that I just think that closer to time, and I know the concessions will be open. I cannot imagine he will not want to have the concessions open. So there'll be that. The 660 Saloon, looks like we'll have that open, concessions open, everybody grilling. So I don't think food's going to be any problem, but exactly what, I don't know. Do you, Dallas? What do you think?
I actually kind of kicked this idea around when we first kind of were drafting up the No Name Nationals. And I think more or less I'd like to just get this one to go as the event first, right?
Right.
Because those things, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be upfront and frank about No Name National stuff, okay? A lot of people don't see what happens when the coordination for this stuff, and it is 99% headache, and you guys don't get to see any of it because John and I try to shield you from a lot of it. But that's because you don't want to create any distaste for the event, right? But the thing is, if we were to bring in food vendors, okay, there would be licensing requirements. There would be food handler requirements. And there's all this stuff that we are already swamped with what we have. And it's easier to say, hey, bring a grill, bring some meat, tell your buddy to bring some marshmallows, and then have a good time instead of being inundated with all this other crap that eventually when John and I finally get somebody in there for a food vendor, you're then going to have to pay for it. So it works out, I think, in our best interest to just have essentially a big get-together kind of party atmosphere. Bring an extra package of hot dogs or an extra package of sauerkraut or some chicken thighs or something like that, and then we'll all just grill out and have a good time. I'm sure there's going to be enough grills and enough plates that just about anybody's going to be able to eat.
There will be all kinds of grilling and food and all of that going
Look
on.
at this. Big
I don't
Mike
know
Sushi Barn says he's going to be grilling some homemade wild boar brats.
Check that out. So here's the
know.
thing. I'm kind of thinking as we go down the stretch, we kind of coordinate everybody a little bit so that, like, you know, we can chip in. And I just don't think we're going to have any problem with everybody getting fed. But if we do have something break through, we'll let you know. Because there's been a lot of things with this event that we've had to fight to make work. Then there's been some things just falling right in our lap and worked out. And
yeah, but, you know, like, that was the things that I thought was going to be the hardest, or the ones that seems to be the easiest so far.
Yeah.
Right? And the ones that you thought were going to be like a slam dunk, like this will take care of itself, have been the biggest pain in the butt. Like, you literally just want to quit every day. Like, oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what, there's some challenges, no doubt. But then, you know what? I look at all these people here. They got super good attitudes, and man, I just, these guys keep me going. These guys keep me going.
Yeah, and then, well, okay, so, and Brian Brinker brings up a good point here. Sykeston, actually, every large event I've ever been to at Sykeston, they normally make breakfast burritos in the morning, right? They'll get out like all the stuff together, and then early in the morning, like 6 o'clock, they'll start making breakfast burritos for those people that want breakfast, because they know some people are going to be there, you know, multiple days.
Right. Sykeston's a great.
What's that?
I thought it was good, and walking that place, it just seemed like such a good venue for this. Everything just seemed like it was in the right place. It's the right atmosphere. I could see everything we're doing. I loved getting there, and instead of saying, how are we going to make this work, the track looked like it was just made for it. So I'm tickled to death.
Well, it's a good little track almost in the center of the United States. So it's pretty much a great place to have an event like this.
I don't know what you got a slice of, JMJ, but you better share there.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all around.
Yeah, man. Here's a good Dallas question, because he's really on top of this. DRC's asking, what's the weather in Sykeston around the time of the No Name Nationals?
Okay, what do you want to know? All right. The weather is probably going to be dry, and yet, okay, generally every year at Sykeston, I shoot for events in middle to late September, because the possibility of rain is so low that almost anything you put together there you're gonna pull it off. The other thing is, if you don't have a lot of history with drag racing, and I'll guarantee you, Just Mopar Joe can chime in, because he probably has dealt with this quite a bit. When you get to the drag strip and you're strapped in your car and you got the windows rolled up and it's June or July, the first thing you want to do is like climb out of that car, because it's so freaking hot, right? September, it'll probably be 75 degrees and nice, right? And then the weather, like I said, the possibility of rain is generally below 10%. So you're looking at 90% possibility of nice and sunny.
The statistics for the weather look outstanding. Everything is good about the date. Actually, the weather is going to be better for this date than the original date, statistically.
It is, yeah. And then it's, September dates, I like to keep all those for events that you want to happen. And in our original date that we had for the No Name Nationals, it would have been considerably hotter, and then the possibility for rain would have been higher.
There's always pluses and minuses with whatever date you have something, but this is going to work out great. I'm really looking forward to it. And it bought people an extra 35 days to get their cars together. So if there's somebody that helps, it's good to have it. Yeah, Cletus, he's got to know something about the weather there. Just Mopar Joe has a very scientific explanation. Hotter than a billy goat walking through a pepper patch. I don't think I've ever seen that sentence in my life. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so Do Mopar says 2.5 hour ride. Wade preps an awesome track. I've had some questions about track prep at Jeffers.
Yeah.
Let's tell these guys a little bit about the track prep that they should expect to see.
Well, based on the variety of cars that we're going to have there, okay, so previously when we did the Slanted Nationals there, the Slanted National guys, and this is something that you don't hear all that often, they were mad because the track was prepped too hard, and it was actually bogging the little slants down when they were launching. But because like I said, the variety of cars that we're going to have there, we're going to have full-blown race cars and street racing cars, right? I mean, look at your guys coming from Texas. You're going to want to have probably the best prep that you could put on, right? Now that's not always good because the low power cars, when you take a low power car out there and you put it on this glued track, the numbers might not reflect how your car would normally run on a track that's not prepped like that. It probably is going to be a little bit slower, but that's so that you get the prep. There's nothing worse than coming all that way and then having no hook, right?
Well, the one thing you guys got to remember, this track's owned by Larry Jeffers. He is a Pro Mod chassis builder. A guy who builds 3-second cars is not going to have a shabby track. And so we really want to deliver a well-prepped track to you guys. One thing we are going to have to do, I'm starting to see, because we have quite a mix of, drag slick and drag radial guys and street tires. We're probably going to have to work out a little bit of a run order to keep the guys with the hard radial street tires from tearing up the prep.
And that normally happens. If you have drag radials or something and you were kind of considering bringing them, bring them. Because it'll make it so much easier on the track personnel. And that's one thing is, like, you remember, these people are going to be out there working at the track for 2 days straight out in the sun. And so, I mean, you don't want to make any more work for them because it's already going to be tough enough for them working there.
We want to give you guys the best track we possibly can. I told Dallas from day one and Larry Jeffers, we want to have a really good track that people can bring their stuff and throw down, and we want some people to get their personal bests running there. So,
well, and Kim's asking here, how late at night is the track allowed to run drags? Okay, so there is no curfew at Jeffers, right? That was one of the reasons why I did it in Missouri, is because there is no limitation on when you can run. The only caveat to that is Sunday mornings, there's actually a church next door to the track, and you're not allowed to race until after church on Sundays. But we won't have that problem. We're looking at Friday and Saturday. So.
Right. That was a part of the consideration. Friday, Saturday is becoming a more common split. The average work week has changed a lot in this country. There are more people who work Monday through Thursday and different days. The Monday through Friday thing is less relevant now than it used to be. So we did Friday, Saturday. A lot of other events do Friday, Saturday. Works out real well. You bet it's going to be fun. Bubba Ayers knows it's going to be fun. How many subs do you have, Bubba? You're getting close. You're getting close to just putting that race behind you. Track and Travel, Rick says, our tires wrinkle at Tri-State. Yep. Sunday's a travel day. Yeah, Sunday's going to be a travel day for a lot of people. Unfinished Project works 7 days a week. Yeah, that guy's a hard-working guy. Unfinished Project, if you said it, I missed it. Was that you pressure washing those wheels and tires in that video? If so, that's about the most you've ever been on camera. Was that you?
Yeah, 7 days a week here, too. And I know John Wilburn works 7 days a week, too.
At least. SRP, can we go to church in the morning? I don't know anything about that church. Is it an all-welcome church they can go if they want to worship there in the morning?
I have never seen a church turn anyone away. I don't think they would have a problem with that if you wanted to go there.
Is it a Baptist church, or do you know, Dallas?
I can't remember. I do think it is a Baptist church.
Yeah. If it's a Baptist church, I can't imagine that you wouldn't be welcome to visit. And not saying another religion wouldn't. I just don't know nearly as much about them. But I was thinking it was a Baptist church. Hey, look at that. Okay. So unfinished project confirms that was an unfinished project sighting in the video. So we now have a sighting that unfinished project is in human form in a video washing wheels and tires.
I literally
Yeah.
thought that he had no human form. He was kind of like Dr. Manhattan, in between Dr. Manhattan and the vaporized electrocuted
Yeah.
blob, right? And so he was just like floating in limbo between all these different dimensions.
Hey Kim, hey, you know what? You do whatever you want, but I know one thing, you're welcome at our event. So I can't promise you anything else, but you know you're welcome at the track for sure. Bill doesn't know if he can make it, but he loves the enthusiasm. Hey man, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Colleen,
Yeah, make it.
no, I have not yet. If you want to follow up with him, that'd be great. I know a lot of people are watching, lurking, haven't committed yet, but sure. Hoosier's asking, wonder how many bots will show up. I don't know. And what does that mean? Is that short for something? Am I missing that?
I was thinking bots is like those bots that are on YouTube looking doing likes.
My goodness, Bill McKaiser,
Bill,
thanks a bunch.
Are you sure, Bill?
Yeah, is that a mistake? Because if it is, you can tell me privately. We will not hold you to that. If you did not mean to send that, understand, no hard feelings if that was a mistake. But if you did, we really appreciate that. Thanks a bunch. Dallas and I, you know, as far as this event goes, are pretty much volunteers. Dallas and I are both going out on a complete limb with this thing. So everything helps, and we appreciate it. Thanks a bunch, man. Cousin Cletus gives $10 to anybody wearing stuff with Cletus merch. Well, dude, I would pay to wear stuff with Cletus merch. You want to?
You know what? What would be cool is like if you saw somebody wearing stuff with Cletus merch, you should just run up to them and take a picture with them. You know, you don't have to pay them. They paid you for the merch.
Fake accounts equal, but oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, the only reason that bots is like a buzzword these days is because apparently the Elon Musk found out like half of the accounts on Twitter are bots.
I have no idea. I don't do Twitter. I thought about Twitter back when it first came around, and just never took to it. The closest thing I do to social media is YouTube. That's it. So I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook. I don't do any of that stuff. This is it.
Yeah, well, YouTube is like socializing media, right? You can actually talk to your audience, and your audience can talk to you.
I think Hoosier just means in general. We have a pretty good crowd here of people, mostly people I recognize. Yeah, Colleen Tebow says she gave them the AHRA stickers at Sick Week. So yes, you should remind them of that. They need to show up at the No Name.
Yeah, I even shot them some emails.
That's it. Colleen, we want to make sure you get your AHRA stickers. You will get reimbursed for that. No worries.
Oh, I think I already reimbursed her.
Did you? Okay. All right, just make sure.
I said, oh, man, that sucks. And I think I dropped some in the mail.
Cool.
But I was glad because she actually gave them to Derek at Vice Grip, and he threw them on his Chevelle, his 1776 Chevelle or whatever the heck it is.
Independence is what he calls it, I believe.
Independence Chevelle, yeah, that's right. And then he's got that 1776 Monte Carlo, right?
I think
I don't watch any of his stuff, to be honest with you, and it's not that I don't like him or anything. I don't watch a lot of people's stuff. I'm busy every day, man. I'm literally wake up and go until I can't go anymore, and then I push myself another hour, and then I go to bed. And,
I admit I don't get to watch as much content as I'd like. I really don't. I know the whole month of April was just a wash for me, right? So, like a lot of March, all of April, and most of the first part of May, frankly, first half of May. Now I'm getting to where I have a little bit of time to sit down and see some cool things and watch them. So, you notice I've been sharing some videos and stuff. Like Conrad K65, he did a video comparing 426 Hemi intakes. And that's pretty cool. And like that's the kind of stuff that you would have seen a lot of at one time. But once the 426 Hemis kind of started drying up, you didn't. So now it's kind of becoming a rare treat again. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm the same way, John. Like I had, well, your visit and events, and then things got rained out, and then Buick Nationals, and I don't know if anybody knows, like Buick Nationals, I didn't just go there and shake people's hands. I literally started a production line in my garage of painting or cleaning, blasting, and painting Buick parts that I could turn into cash so I could turn into parts that I needed for the projects for my channel.
Dallas is a hard-working guy. I mean, and we talk regularly, but I mean, he is wire to wire every day. I couldn't keep up with Dallas. I mean, he and I
can't keep up with Dallas.
But we're committed. We're committed. We're getting a lot done. And the answer is always Dart Sport. Dart Sport is never the wrong answer.
I'm so committed, I'm going to show up in an I Love Me jacket for No Name Nationals.
Andrew Nelson saying, can you bring AHRA merchandise, stickers, and tees?
You know it. I go every event. I bring them all. That's why I got the snail on the back of the truck here. Because it's loaded up with merch in preparation for maybe you might want to buy something. So I'll bring all the merch. You just bring your pesos and we'll trade.
Danny Boyd, funny you say that. I've got a few things right now that need power plants, and the Free 18 is just sitting there. We may see something with that soon. I've actually got a couple of 318s, including that one. May have some destinies coming up here soon. Irish Outlaw says, finally home. Answer, yes, I'll be racing the vehicle. Okay, I won't say what it is, because if you haven't put that out in a video, Irish Outlaw, you should. It's freaking cool. So I will say, you got to watch Irish Outlaw's channel and see what he's got. It's freaking neat. He emailed me a picture of it when he was registered. I'm like, oh, man. And it's the kind of thing that if you're into this kind of stuff, like if you have if you get the No Name National, you'll get why the car is cool. Family's Garage needs a 318 for the 73 rotor. That shouldn't be hard to find at all. And I'm glad you're looking for a 318 for it. 318's a great little mill that's getting a resurgence in popularity, especially with the Ratty Muscle Car guys having the 318 Fest at Jake's Dragway. That was great.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. I wonder if they did that again this year. I didn't see it. But,
man, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. We got to do that again, Dallas.
Yeah, that was fun. It was, me, you, and Andy, and Tony. And there was
yes.
Tony was spraying bottle rocket in the pits.
So that event, I don't know how much of it made it to video, but so Dallas, Tony, Andy, so Tony, Uncle Tony's Garage, Andy, Unity Motorsports Garage, and Dallas and I, we're all pitting, with Tony. And so Tony finds the farthest corner of the universe to pit, right?
That's how he does it, right? That's how he does it.
Always. He pits in his own zip code at the track. Okay.
Well, and here's the sad part is I told him, hey, I normally take my merch to the track so that I could pay for my gas money there, right? So now we're pitted 245,000 feet away from everyone else, and I got my merch tent set up, and there's no one around.
It still works, though. Still had a lot of visitors, but we had a good time. And Jake's Dragway, and it's like the only track I think I've ever been to where there's more racing that goes on in the back of the pits than on the track. There were
yeah, we were on the test road.
Yeah, because there was 2 rows of pits behind us kind of where nothing was going on, but they had actual paved roads in them, and there were guys testing on that. So Tony made a few test hits back there, and Andy did, and we were checking things out. Did a makeshift front end alignment on Bottle Rocket. It's a barrel of fun. That's a fun event. I'd love to go there again and run there again.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun that weekend.
JB's Little Shop's asking, anyone know where I can find a power steering pump? He needs a power steering pump head bracket for a 2.8. Needs one bad. JB, I'll look for it. We
Yeah,
got
I was just at the junkyard yesterday, and there is none where I'm at. I looked at every S10 because John and I had talked about a plan, and okay, so I'll give you the plan because and it's not going to work, and that's why I'm going to give it to you. But I measured all the stuff, and it just will not work. But
man.
So I need a new AHRA vehicle, something with not 320,000 miles on it. I mean, I don't mind driving this truck, but I need something that gets like 30 miles to the gallon, vice 20 miles to the gallon. With the gas prices going through the roof, and most of my overhead just being gas in this old pig truck, I was going to get an S10 chassis, put a 215 Buick with a T5 in it, the 215 all aluminum V8, and then I was going to put an HHR body on it so that I could go get a body somewhere, and like body panels and pieces and parts. Since nobody makes a vehicle that's worth a crap, I was just going to make my own because I really want a wagon, but wagons are few and far between these days. And if you go price like a 92 to 96 Roadmaster or a Caprice wagon, they are not cheap these days. They're going for $6,000 or so. So, yeah, there was a ton of 4-cylinder S10s in the junkyard. I did not see one of them with a 2.8. I've seen a couple of them with a 4.3.
Blacks with Turtles asking a question that applies to both of us, asking if I'm racing, bringing a car. Neither Dallas or we just got way too much work to do to be running anything at the event. Believe me, we'd love to, but maybe next year. We'll see how things go. If we can, I'd like to. I'd certainly like to, but it's just out for this year. But hopefully that'll change. Dust Devil's trying to make him convert it, but I got to tell you, I'm digging that V6 build. So let's find JB that bracket. JB, if you don't mind, you know the truck a lot better than I do. If you don't mind, send me a picture of that bracket, and we'll get the community working, try to help you find one.
Well, I'm almost certain that I don't know if a front-wheel drive 3.1 liter, but it is the same engine. A 3.1 and a 3.4 is the same engine as that 2.8. And I know that 2.8 came in the Camaros, so I don't see why it would be any different than that S10 pickup.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, Camaro could work. And the thing about the Camaro that's nice, too, is a lot of people pulled the 2.8s out of those. So you probably have even more of those floating out that never went back into service.
Right. Well, I was also thinking that the Camaros in like 94 when they came out with that, what do they call it? The mouse-looking one? I don't know what it is.
One looks like a catfish.
Oh, that was 97 and up, but it's that same body style, but it was the early design of them, 94, 5, 6. They came with a 3.1 liter V6 and a 3.4 liter V6. Viced later, they came with the Buick 3800 in 96 and up. And so if you find one of the early Camaros, they should have a 3.1 or a 3.4. That head bracket should bolt right on your 2.8.
I was going to pull up some of our recon photos and just show the guys, because that's right, we haven't had a chance to do this yet. So
now I was looking at those photos the other day that I took, and I'm like, man, when are we going to do something with this?
It was a lot of walking, a lot of working. So let me find.
Yeah, that was an all-day thing.
It was
supposed to be an event. Yeah, it was supposed to be an event. It got rained out, and it's a good thing it got rained out, because I don't think if we would have had the event, that John and I couldn't have got the things done that we did do.
So we walked the track. We shot a little video at the track, and
we measured everything.
We're gonna do some really cool signage at different gates. I think you guys are gonna get a real kick out of what we do with that. Okay, here's a still. They have a great little starting line. Look at that. So you got the American flag. You got your tower right there. That wall that's behind Dallas, that's the entire spectator side wall. We're gonna have signage on the fence back behind the Burnout area. We're gonna have billboard signage behind the seats, signage across the road. We're gonna have hard signs on the starting line. All that's gonna look great. But that wall behind Dallas, we're gonna leave for you guys so that you can bring banners to promote your own channels and put on there.
And that way the spectators are looking directly at your banner.
Yep. Yeah. So if you look here, you see where that's kind of hard to see on here because the light's flashing back into it. But you see on the inside, it's painted, and you got the Jeffers sign and all that, and you're going to have hard signs there. Well, that's where the event signage is going to be, presumably like Roadkill Customs, No Name Nationals, Jeffers. On the back side there, that whole wall is all just free space, and we want you guys to have that. So, and the thing is we're going to get a package deal together, so it makes it really easy for you to do your banners. More on that real soon. I've got that in the works, and you'll recognize.
Yeah, we've already greased the skids on that with Ben Schultz, right?
Right. Well, yeah, I was going to say. So all of the vendors for this event, virtually everybody are people right out of our community. So Ben is a member of our community. He does the merch for several YouTube channels. Does a great job. Nice guy. He's going to be at the event participating, and he's going to work with you guys with your banners. Levi's messaging me. Levi, are you working on your subs now? Levi's great.
Is he hitting you up to go sub to his channel?
He's telling me he's just hollering at me. He's had to go take a lunch break. Danny Boyd says we're the next Robert France, Humpy Wheeler. I don't know about that, man.
I don't want to be that group.
Dallas is the first Dallas Brown. How about that? I don't know what you call baby homemade. There's practically everything. Yeah, homemade banners. Yeah, why not? Yeah, of course.
I'd like to think that me and you are more like Abbott and Costello, right? Not Bill France, or what do you say, Robert France and Humpy Wheeler?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what is funny. It's kind of funny. Like, you look at that photo there. Dallas is pretty tall. I'm 5'9", and Dallas is about 11 feet tall. So you can really see it when we're walking down the track there. You don't see it when we're sitting here live.
Hell, I'm only 6'2". Everybody always asks how tall I am. I'm 6'2".
I think you're taller than that, but
I just look taller than that because I'm skinny. No, I'm not skinny. I'm a fat turd.
Maybe.
But
Danny Boyd says, buy land, build drag strip, people race. Let me tell you, it's not like I've never thought about that. Never say never.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows the future will hold? I know one thing. I've seriously thought about that. And if I ever was able to buy a drag strip, I would just love hosting events, having everybody in. That's always been something I've always wanted to do, and now it's happening.
Well, the one I always wanted, there's a couple of them. Drag strips that are, the bygone drag strips. One would be the Pocono Drag Lodge, right?
Yeah.
I'd want that. I want that one. Just because it's so unique and different, and it's like in the middle of nowhere. The other one was US 30. I'd love to grab US 30 and reopen that.
My home track is Princeton Dragway. My email domain is princetondragway.com. My home track is Princeton Dragway, and that dragway closed down after the 99 season, and they built a trailer park in there. So literally the main street in this trailer park is a big, wide, flat dragway, right? And you can obviously still see where it was, but it's Ginger Lane in that trailer park now. But I always thought, if I had just like stupid money falling from the sky money, it'd be fun to have that and see if it could be reopened.
Yeah, bales of cocaine money, like the ones that fall from the sky.
Right? Yeah, crazy money.
Oh, man, I'm going to go trade this in for some drag strip.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned heights, and people love to jump in and talk about height. So Ari's 6'4", 6'5". Yeah, he's pretty tall. So is just Mopar Joe. He's pretty tall like that too.
Yeah, I tell you what, being in the Navy and being 6'2" sucked.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah?
how many valves. Yeah, I don't know how many valves my forehead ate on a
Oh,
ship.
man.
I mean, everything is just high enough to clock you right in the forehead, right? So
I bet. I've heard that actually, people talking about that. You're not the first person that's told me that about being in the Navy, especially being on a sub.
oh, subs are even worse. Yeah, there's less room.
So mostly old parts and Russ Patrick. He's going to start with Shorty Dakota headers and modify them. Cool.
Whatever you can do, like for making your own parts and headers and stuff like that. Headers these days, I didn't believe it, but you know, the days of buying the $99 header are completely gone. Right? They're all like $600 now. $600 for a set of headers. If that isn't inflation, I don't know what is. Right? Because $600 is it's literally like the entire budget I have for a complete exhaust system.
Speaking of that, so Dust Devil Garage Brian saying you'll all feel short next to Tall John. Tall John, I know he's tall and we call him Tall John. So to me, his identity is, you know, he's a Mopar dude, I know him and all that stuff. He happens to be tall. And I never even thought much about it. But I'm telling you, if you do think about it and you look at him standing, he is a giant. He is a tall dude. Super.
Is he over 7 feet?
Yeah, he's close. He says 6'9", and I think that's conservative because he visibly ducks a good bit under a door. He says 6'9", and that might be even he might be slouching 6'9" for real.
Wow,
he's probably close to 7 feet. Well, you can look at the pictures of him. Like, look at him standing next to Jed. I wish I had one of him standing next to me because he's foot taller plus than me. Yeah. Tall John is tall. He's definitely the tallest one in our YouTube community here. Wasted Talent Fabrications. I think he's 6'4". Just Mopar Joe 6'5". I think Dallas is probably a fuzz taller than 6'2". He says that, but I think that's kind of like a, you know, Irish Outlaw 6'3". Yeah, we had some pretty tall people for whatever reason. Then you got me and two hacks. We're not tall at all.
You're just guys.
Yeah. So Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly, Rich Rusnick, he says, I got cheap headers for $300, but racing headers are $1,500.
Yes. Yeah. I'm making my own here, coming up on my Super Stock Buick, but yeah, I'm going to get back on the Super Stock. I got to finish that one up, and then I think this is going to be the first one I've ever done it to. I'm going to take it to the dyno.
I like this. And since Joe's not in here, we got to save that one for him. He'll get a kick out of that. Who's your 6'1"? Yeah, see, on YouTube, you don't know how tall most of these people are. Wilburn's going to be like the old Alamo Lost at the Mall commercial from the 80s. Maybe. Headers for my car are $80. What are you driving that the headers are $800? I was going to say that's like a 90s price there.
Yeah, I was like, those days are long gone.
Oh yeah.
There was guys telling me on the Buick pages like, yeah, I paid $600 for my 340 headers. I said, you guys got to be out of your mind. And then I just ended up having to eat my foot because almost every set of headers is freaking $600 or more these days.
Well, check this out.
What's that?
Yeah, look at Aaron's header price.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Plus
$800 Australian freight.
It looks like if they're $1,500 but they're $2,000 Australian, it looks like it's a third more. So I mean, I'm guessing $600. So in American dollars, it cost him $2,100 for those.
That's where you got to learn to make them yourself for that kind of price.
No joke. Don't tangle with Joe. I'll tell you, when it comes to headers, if you got something that's got a bunch of room, cheap headers are probably fine, even if you got to work on them to seal them. But like I know on an A body, it's a pain getting the starter off of an A body with headers. To me, after about the first half dozen sets I did, I think the easiest way to do headers on an A body is pull the engine out, put the headers in, put the engine back on top of them. I think that's the easiest way to do headers on an A body Mopar. Now that you have the TTI headers, they've made them fit really well, but man, they're costly. But I really believe that's probably what I'm going to do for my next set of headers, because
worth your time.
The extra ground clearance, extra starter room, yeah, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to make some of this 63 special, and nobody makes any for that special, and then nobody makes any for a Buick 350 in that special, so I'm going to be all on my own.
If somebody could make a good set of commercial headers, it's SRP. I wouldn't doubt that. He's pretty skilled. Dust Devil says we need to send Peckerwood Aaron back with a full case of luggage Mopar parts. Yeah, we should do that. Man, when I travel, my suitcase, like I know I can take 50 pounds. It is never lighter than 49.9 on the scales. I get everything in that check bag I can. I hate having anything carry on the plane because I have to have a check bag anyway. You can't fly with firearms, so I have to have a check bag. So if I'm going to have a check bag, I want everything in it. I don't want to keep up with anything. Oh, Andy's in the house. Andy Wood, glad you could make it, man. So that's a good question. How is Casper coming? Last time I saw Casper, she was looking rough. Are we getting close to dropping the mill back in it and all that good stuff? Need to come down and see you anyway. Cousin Cletus is going to challenge Just Mopar Joe to a hot dog eating race. That sounds great. This is good info. So Track and Travel uses a 96 Ram starter in an A body. What is it specific? Is it just a general mini starter, or is there something you like better about the Ram starter? Let us know.
I'll guarantee you I know exactly what that is. That's just like, on the Buicks, I use the LT1 starter off of like a Roadmaster with the LT1.
Right.
And that's because they're a smaller starter, like what do they call them? Gear reduction starters that came out of Japan in the 90s. That's when they started hitting the cars, was about mid-90s. So I imagine a Ram about 96 would have that gear reduction style starter. Chrysler's always had a gear reduction starter on them, but it got even smaller after the 90s, and I'm sure that's why he's doing it. Andy say he's gonna have headers made?
He's gonna have to. You can't buy headers for that. The headers that were on the dyno he borrowed from Greg Brown, so I know he's got to make some headers or something. So. Anyway, Andy, if you need any help, holler. I'm happy to come down and help you hammer on that thing. Yeah, is it a Dakota? Well, Dakota's like the factory mini starter. I've got a bunch of new old stock and rebuilt starters from the early 90s I pulled out of my attic. And they're Chrysler and they're small, and I don't know what they go to. It'd be really neat if they fit an LA engine. Dust Devil's saying that the Magnum starters fit off everything. Yeah, Tony's Hot Rods Garage has a 96 Ram. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll look into that one. I always thought the Dakota starter, but that's worth checking out. Bad Tree, I don't know if they are registering the cars or just the owners. So if you're talking about the No Name Nationals, we are taking registrations per channel. And then each registration is needed for each car that channel brings. And each registration includes one human, 12 and up.
Right. If you just register one channel, you can bring one car. Right?
Yeah, so,
but if let's say you're bringing two cars, you register your channel, and then one car is included with your registration, and then you bring a second car, you'd have to pay a second vehicle registration.
Hey, Andy, Andrew Nelson says they build headers to New York, Pennsylvania. Let me tell you, those are some skilled guys. It may be worth your while to do that, Andy. If you need the Nelson's contact info, I'm happy to put you in touch with them. Maybe
is that the NIMPAC guys?
Yes, that's Nivlac 57. Those guys know what's going on. They do really good fab work. So if you want me to put you in touch, I will. Yeah, Andy's near Charlotte. Everyone should bring the parts and add a swap meet. We've been asked that, and there's nothing wrong if you want to bring parts and swap them. That's totally cool. You can.
Yeah, I would. If I was you, and the way you would really make this work well, because I mean, you're talking about some of these people are traveling. They're probably going to have $500-600 in gas alone, right? So the smart thing is bring some parts. If you can flip them at the track and pay for some of your gas, that takes some of the sting out of the travel.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm figuring just in your pit space. I mean, this whole thing is just going to be like a big homecoming reunion fun party YouTuber thing.
Right. Well, and the way John and I have been describing it, like you can't say it's a drag race because it's not. It's more or less like a YouTube automotive content creator trade show is
yes.
kind of really, but it doesn't have any. That doesn't have panache, right? I mean, I'm going to a trade show. It's like I don't know. I guess we could have probably called it The Gathering, but
it is a YouTuber trade show. That really is a good description. But the thing is I don't know.
So much more.
Get that. But anyway, this is our national event, the No Name Nationals. Andy says it might be a lot of things. I'm not a welder. You know what, man? We can't do it all, right? Andrew says, bring parts to sell. Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, that's how I ended up welding stuff.
SRP says, going to raffle off the vehicle. The only thing I'll say about raffles, because I have some experience with them, and I don't know what Missouri law is, but I know that raffles, at least in Virginia, they're regulated by the Department of Gaming, and you have to be a 501c3 or 501c4 to do a raffle. You've got to be a nonprofit. So, not saying you can't, but you would have to do a little legwork to figure out how to do that. Let's see. The boss and I are discussing bringing 5 of our undisclosed arsenal. You're bringing 5 cars. I don't think I know some people bringing 3, maybe 1 or 2 with 4. So 5 would definitely be the record. Yes,
for now.
So as for the No Name 500, 113 cycles is at 472. Is he still in first? He was this morning. Bubba may have passed him. Bubba, how many subs do you have, man? How many subs did you have? Also, you need to have a gambling license. Well, maybe in Missouri. I don't know for sure. I know I got a good enough idea in Virginia. I don't here.
And most of the states are relatively close. You know, there isn't going to be anything that's way off. I know that Missouri's fairly strict on gaming because they were also the place, if you remember, that they started with the gaming boats on the Mississippi River, right? They run through St. Louis. Or is that Mississippi? Yeah, I think that's Mississippi. And they had all the gaming paddle wheel boats,
right? So Arthur Fiddler says, or Auteur, I put a second R. So Auteur Fiddler says, as for being friendly, I don't know if you use the term I called out. We both have ratty 6-cylinder Novas with ladder bars. There should be a less confrontation. I don't know. Whatever y'all want to work out. Turlo's asking who's in last for the No Name 500. I don't know exactly. I don't like to say who's last necessarily. I will say that just since he's here, Bikes with Turlo, he's just starting off, so he's close to it. How about that? But I look for him to soar. Zero G could be, man.
We don't like to put people on blast if we don't have to.
Well, since Zero G says me, actually Zero G is very close. You know what? How's this? Zero G I think is in last, but because he's here, if you guys go check out his channel, I bet you here in a minute or two, he won't be. How's that? How's that? I bet you we can fix that right now. So check out the Zero G Mopars. Somebody, if that one mods can put up the link to him, Zero G Mopars, that would be great. Check him out, and we'll see if he gets any subs. In fact, let me pull up his channel right now. All right, well, just in the time it took me to get his channel pulled up, he's no longer last. So Zero G Mopars, you are no longer last. There you go. Ed's Machine, you have 100 and some. And by the way, Ed's Machine, I was looking at his channel here a couple days ago, and I realized I wasn't subscribed to it. I didn't even realize it because Just Mopar Joe and Bad Tree, since they have a lot of work done with Ed, they put links to his channel, and I've been watching it through links. Didn't realize I actually wasn't subscribed. So make sure you're actually subscribed to these guys and didn't visit through a link. It's not hard to do.
There's a couple of them I got to go unsubscribe to.
Yeah, we got to make sure to support our No Name 500 guys for sure. Zero G, there you go. Just Mopar Joe put up the link. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, check him out. Check him out. As I say with all these guys, we don't ever tell you to sub to them. We just say, here they are. If they earn your sub, that's awesome. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of really great content creation going on at every number of subscribers. The content creation is fantastic. I've seen people sign up with no subs and just blew us away. And so, check them out. You could be one of their first. When they have a great channel with huge numbers of subscribers, one day you can say, "Hey, man, I was one of their first 20 subscribers."
Right. Well, I mean, look at Two Hacks. Look at Bear Rose.
Yes.
I mean, they started the show with like nothing.
Yes.
And they threw their hat in the ring like the day we announced the No Name Nationals, and they literally had 2 months later had their 500. So you still have plenty of time. You see that number behind John? That's the number of days until the event actually kicks off, and then that's virtually 4 months worth. I mean, if you can't get all your subs by 4 months, there's a problem.
Here's something else too. We do have several things in store for you guys that are going to help you get your subscribers. And one thing you can always do, don't forget this. Now, I don't recommend waiting with this as the plan. It's kind of dicey. You can always panhandle for subs at the event. Like show up at the gate with a sign on your neck that says, I need 12 subscribers to race today. And the spectators coming in on their phone can subscribe to. I mean, that's not, why can't they, right? We
don't want to exclude anyone.
We want everybody to make it, and everybody can. Everybody can. I mean, no doubt about it, everybody can. Yeah, it's a good point. Bubba says, I don't think I ever unsubscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe. It's like, let's say that somebody has a flea market, right? And let's say a customer has $100, and let's say there's 10 vendors, and they spend $20 at 5 vendors. That means 5 vendors can't get any money, right? YouTube subs aren't that way at all. The one customer can subscribe to all 10 and cost them nothing, right? So I'm generous with subs, but I will say, just to keep the integrity in the system, because these guys, they're earning it. Their content, what they're doing, they're earning it. And all we do is just try to say, hey, go check them out. They deserve it, but they're doing it. They're earning it. They're doing the rest. That's on them. No cloud on the title of these guys' accomplishments whatsoever.
And to be fair, I'm just going to unsubscribe to some people that had actually dropped out of the No Name Nationals. There's no point in being subscribed to them anymore.
Well, I mean, as with anything, when you have a whole lot of, volume of that's just the way it goes. But it's just as with anything. I mean, that's just the way life is. Mopar Den's going to say, I'm putting banners, subscribe to Mopar Den on highway overpass bridges. Please video that. Don, okay, so there's this, okay. So I remind everybody how many days it is until the No Name Nationals. And Don English reminds me how many days to Carlisle and how far behind I am on the Roach Runner. Yeah, man, you are not wrong. I mowed around the Roach Runner yesterday. You are not wrong, my friend. Yes, Jay from Rapid Transit, sub to zero G. So here's the thing: as the course of nature has had it, we worked a lot more with the No Name 500 guys through April because we wanted to work with them early, and then as they made it, we've been trying to give attention to the next crop coming up, about to cross the finish line. That's just the natural order of things. Jay was actually probably the second to make it, but he was the first one I saw because he and RC Industry crossed the finish line about the same time. Technically, I think RC Industry was first. But so we don't talk about Jay as much for that reason. But let me tell you, you got a great channel, and check Jay out. He's a cool cat. Ricky, you're at 440 now. I'm assuming you mean Ricky Gervais. Yeah. Let me tell you, that Duster, they ran their personal best with it, 1191. He went from a car running low 12s to shopping for a cage in one race. So cool. Oh, in Dallas, I told him in Ricky's video, when he leaves the line, when he gets out about 60 feet, the glove box door flops open. So that's like his weight transfer.
Yeah, instant weight transfer. Put a water bottle in there.
That's where the 210s came from.
Zero G. Throw a water bottle in there.
What? Zero G doubled subscribers? What, did you go to like 70? Like, did that happen? How many do you have? How many do you have, man? Dizzy Izzy got 104 videos. Yeah, he's been hustling. Got 159 subs too, if I'm not mistaken. Jerry's at 440. Yeah, Jerry's getting close. We'll be having those guys on live soon, I'm sure. They're getting really close. Here's a neat little channel up in Canada. My Next Project. Guy gets down to business. Got a maroon. I believe it's a 73 Duster, small block. Cool cat. He's been on a live here with me before. Check him out. I think he's kind of a sleeping giant channel for the content he can make. Big Mike's Hoopty Barn. Last I checked, I need 66. Yeah, you were at 434 when I looked this morning, Big Mike. Yes, indeed. Hey, Mopar Al's in the house. What's up, man?
Mopar Al. He doesn't need any subscribers. He got like 4,000 in one day.
Mopar Al's rocking. Here's the thing with Mopar Al. He's been putting in the work for so long.
Right. Well, it's like a floodgate, right? You get all the water stirred up, then you open the gates, and that's what happened to Al. I mean, everybody was digging what he was doing with Slaghammer.
He had been putting all the work in that he had the backlog so that when he finally dropped the channel, actually, he had the channel out there. And Al, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I may have been your very first subscriber way back there. But anyway, once he dropped it and announced it and changed the channel name to Mopar Al, floodgates open.
Yeah, well, and if you don't know, Mopar Al is probably the most laid-back dude on YouTube. He's so laid back.
In person, on camera, he's that same cool guy.
Same guy. Yeah, he has no fronts, no differences whatsoever. He's the same guy.
I think a lot of Al. He's a good dude. Work been killing you, Andy? I bet. But I mean it. You want me to come help? I'm glad to do it. I know you got a pile on your plate. I conceded the whole idea of bringing a car to the event, so I don't have that on me at least. Stephen Holtz, Road Tripper Stephen Holtz. I watch a lot of these channels. I watch jump up a little every time. Like every other day, I redo the leaderboard and I send it to Dallas and I send it to Buzz. and I watch some channels jump up that few subscribers. And I'm like, that's got to be so satisfying to watch that climb.
Well, it's satisfying on our end, right? Like, oh, dude, these guys are. It's satisfying on our end. You see these numbers go up, and you're like, oh, these guys are putting in the work. Good for them.
They're getting their due. That's the thing. The No Name 500 has added so much of a wonderful element to this event. It's just we never. Dallas, am I wrong? I would just never have imagined how much the No Name 500 was going to mean to this event when we started.
Well, we really had. See, this is all new, right? Oh, let me turn this light on. It's starting to get dark. Oh gosh. Yeah, we didn't really have any plans for the No Name 500 when we first started. It was not really a thing. We were just putting on the event, and then we actually saw like the dynamics of the guys that didn't have 500 subscribers jumping in on this thing and how they were all working together. And it's like, man, we should make this a deal by itself, right? Well, then it just so happens that after we started getting the deal going and it was all working out well, Buzz then came along and really wanted to do something with the No Name 500 group. And it was like, well, this is definitely,
yeah.
It's working out the best it possibly could, right? And it's actually been way better than what we had ever considered it would be.
In the beginning, we didn't even consider the No Name. Well, first of all, we weren't calling it the No Name 500. Full credit goes to Barrow's Garage for that. So Barrow's is the one who dubbed it the No Name 500. Okay, he's the one that came up with the name, and I said, man, I love that. We want to use that. So that's Barrow's right there. In fact, everything about this event has come from the community. Okay, right. So Blake from Bad Tree Productions and Ben Schultz, they are the ones who designed the No Name Nationals logo. The Roadkill No Name 500, Buzz designed that. Everything has come from within, including the term No Name 500. That was Barrow right there. And
right.
So anyway, these guys were stealing the show. And by the time it was really jumping, Buzz had talked to us previously about the event, but we re-engaged Buzz and said, hey, man, the development of this No Name 500 is unreal. This is the class sponsorship you want. And it's worked out beautifully.
Yeah, this whole thing is unfolded and evolved much more than John and I had envisioned to begin with.
Yeah. Hey, Mongrel's Garage, what's happening, man? Alter Fiddler. 0G, how many subs do you have? Post it in here. Man, you are cleaning house tonight if what you said is right. I looked like you said you doubled. Let us know how many you have if you're in here still. Unfinished Project said he's struggling to get his hay down. So I don't want the rain for. Well, I can understand that. I have so much grass to mow that I pretty much have to row it rain or shine. So rain doesn't get me out of mowing at all, really.
I'm like the opposite. When I retired from the Navy, I did not want to spend a lot of hours mowing. I grew up with like 3 acres on our property when I was a kid, and I hated it because it was like literally 2 days out of the week you had to mow. And man, I did not want that when I retired, and so it takes me 45 minutes to mow.
I started mowing when I was 9 years old and did all the mowing when I was 11 and have ever since. I have mowed so much grass. Oh, my goodness, I've mowed so much grass. And now I've got 4 properties I mow right now.
Jeez.
Yeah. Andrew Nelson says 10,000 plus sub-channels needed. Appreciate the help, too. Yes. Nivlac 57 has gotten some growth. That's the big channels are benefiting from what we're doing, too. Obviously, we focus on the guys who need it the most. But Mr. Will is in the house. What's happening? I don't know why Mr. Will does not call himself Mr. Will in his videos. Cool guy. He kind of needs the title. Looks like a disc plaque says Mr. Will. Smacky says, I got into working on cars by working on mowers. Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
That's how I got my start too.
Hey, Dallas, a year older than me. Let me ask you this. So I was reading about something yesterday that reminded me that I'm old. Dallas, did you ever pour oil in the engine, change oil out of cans?
Oh yeah, I
Open
actually
with,
have one of those.
open with the church key on each end?
Yeah, I have one of the oh man, I don't remember what they call them. It's like a can funnel, right? Where you stab it in the can and then you just pour it in the engine. I have
Yeah.
that.
I did it with Dad. We changed oil like that and open it with the little punch thing on each end. So one end has air going in, one to pour the oil out. And that's what we did. Had cans of Gulf Pride oil. And here's the thing. I looked on eBay for one of those cans. There's a guy
Dude, those go for big money these days.
$100 for a quart of Gulf Pride oil on eBay. I'm like, whoa. And we used to just plunk, dump it in. And now they go $100 a piece. Buzz got his start on go-karts and mini bikes. Yeah, exactly. A lot of us hot rodders started that way.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Briggs 3.5 horse, 5 horse, that was my go-to thing for the longest time.
Hey, Ron English, here's the plan. If that thing moves under its own power, I am taking off. Anything that breaks along the way, we're going to fix it.
I got a better idea.
If I have something, like if I have a thing throw a connecting rod, we're going to pull the engine out in the parking lot of the Best Western in Mechanicsburg. We're going to put it on the conference table and fix it.
I have a better idea. Why don't we haul it to the No Name Nationals and build it in Lambert's parking lot, and then be like, since you guys don't take reservations, we're just going to wait till we're done, and then we're going to come inside, right? And then
Ari, that's cool of you, man. Hang on to that thing. It'll be worth some money. You should outlive me. I got some years on you. Keep that. Thumper's saying he was rebuilding Briggs and Stratton engines at 9. Yeah. A lot of gearheads start that way. You know, that's cool. So I want to get together with Thumper there and do a special on ethanol fuel. That guy knows a lot about ethanol fuel. That would be really cool. Yeah, seriously. Andy's got all kinds of vintage stuff. Like Andy, didn't you find a tune-up in a can that had the Autolite plugs in it and all that stuff? I think he sent me a picture, something like that. Yeah, Buzz, don't think we're kidding. You know we'd do something like that. I'm not kidding at all. So I think it was Project Farm was doing some kind of comparison of vintage STP with the STP they make today. And I haven't watched it, but I saw the thumbnail. It looked pretty cool. He had a can of and I think what the thumbnail was saying is the Richard Petty vintage STP from the 80s versus what they make today. I don't know.
And here's the thing, though. What he's talking about is like the regular modern oil is better than either one of them today, right? But just think how good STP was compared. If you've ever taken an engine apart from the 70s or 80s, there is like black crud on the inside in the lifter valley, right? That's the motor oil. That's the paraffin wax sludge that's from the motor oil. And STP had to be hands down way better than regular motor oil back then.
Man, I have taken apart so many of those, like you say, from the 70s and 80s, back when they had that really waxy oil. You can literally you can stick your finger in 1 or 2 joints deep in the sludge on those things if it was leaking out. And it would cake up in the valve cover. I've seen valve covers with indentations from the valve springs in them. That stuff caked up so thick. I'm glad that's just not the case. It changed. In the 90s, it was a different. The oil got a lot.
I actually got an answer to something at the Buick Nationals that I have always wondered, right? And this older guy that I met there, he's 78, and he told me about it. You ever taken an old engine apart from the 60s and early 70s, and when you get it apart, there's like a gray sludge kind of stuff in it that it will not come out with like anything, kerosene.
I remember that on yours.
Huh? On one of mine?
Yeah. Weren't you showing it in the video?
I think I did. Me and Tony were talking about it in one of the videos, I think, and he didn't know what it was. Well, this old guy told me what it was. That is lead. That's lead in the oil, and it collects in one spot because it's heavy, right? And it'll stay in the engine essentially forever. And when you go to clean it out, you got to use something to really thin it out. And I found the only thing that I found that actually breaks it down is gasoline with no ethanol.
Since Ed Machine is in the house, our resident machinist, community machinist here, tell us what your observations are with oil on the stuff you see come in there, like what people have run versus the wear and that kind of stuff. I'd be interested to hear Ed's take on that.
Well, see, Ed knew that was lead.
He did. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that old guy told me that, and I'm like, wow, I never even thought of that.
Quaker State probably did change and evolve. I think it did. But, man, that old Quaker State, that first formula, I'm sure it was quiet on startup and all that from all the wax in it, but, man, it was a mess.
Yeah, but it stayed in there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I had some of it, like on a Buick. I don't know how it is on the other engines. I think they're pretty much similar. They have drain back holes in the side of the head where the oil drains back to the pan. And there is literally like stalactites of paraffin wax running down the lifter valley to the drain, right, like to where it goes back to the pan. And oh man, some of them were terrible.
Andrew Nelson says gasoline and a paintbrush, take it out. Yep. Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly, Rich Rusnick. I sold my horse and bought a dirt bike. Blew up the same week. Should have kept the horse. Never owned either, my man.
But that horse only had 1 horsepower.
Irish Outlaw says, got a 74 Poncho 400 in my garage. It's the worst I've ever seen. Okay, y'all check that out. He's got some Pontiac stuff going on. I'd say check out Irish Outlaw's garage. Got some neat stuff going on over there. There's a link to Ed's. Yeah, the nice thing about Ed's machine, since he does a lot for these fellow YouTubers, if you want to see their stuff actually getting done at the machine shop, which is kind of a missing link with a lot of channels. Like, you know, they'll have parts, they'll take them apart on a video, they'll show them when they come back from the machine shop on a video. But like I know with Joe and Blake both using Ed's machine, you can actually see the machine work getting done at his place. So I may commission some stuff with Ed for that reason. I think it'd be pretty cool. I love that.
Hey, Ed's machine, can you weld cast iron?
What's that?
Think Ed's machine can weld cast iron? I need somebody that can weld cast iron.
I know somebody who can. He's welding some cast iron for me, actually.
Is he close to Middle Tennessee?
He's in Roanoke, Virginia. But you know what? If you need me to courier something, I can do it. He's only been welding for 50-some years, and he knows what he's doing.
Oh, man. Starting to thunder.
He's doing a block for me.
Oh, crap. It's going to storm here.
You know what? We need to let Dallas get back on the road. We'll wrap up here in just a few minutes so we can let Dallas get where he's going, because I know you still got a drive ahead of you. We really appreciate you breaking down to come on live with us, man.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to get out. This weather is coming in. It's starting to thunder and lightning.
We'll let Dallas get on the road safely and get where he wants to be. You guys got any last questions for Dallas? Go ahead and get them in, and we'll get wrapping up here. I like this one. Andy says the worst he'd ever seen is a 305 Chevy. That starts so many sentences. But he said the inside had sludge imprint of a valve. Yeah, there you go. Looked like a black loaf of bread. Guy used quite right. That's the way it was way back in the day. Andrew Nelson says, thank you, Dallas. Absolutely. Dallas deserves, thank you, Dallas. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it, Ed. Appreciate you. SRP says he can weld the crack of dawn. Well, you know, actually, he might be a good one to talk to, because I know he's a pretty good fabricator and such. So.
Yeah, well, where's he at?
Yeah, man, where are you? Is it something you're interested in?
Yeah, I need some cast iron welded. I need a block welded. And it's not cracked. It's just, I just need it welded. I I accidentally drilled a hole in it.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that, man. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to let Dallas get on the road. We'll wrap up here. Still got a great crowd in here, but just wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you all so much. Thank you guys that contributed to Super Chat. We really appreciate it. Goes right back in the channel. Thank you so much. Got to thank my mods, Fubar the Axe, Andy from Unity Motorsports Garage, Blake from Bad Tree Productions, and Just Mopar Joe. I think they were all in here tonight, actually. I want to thank all of you new guys who come here. I mean, new names that we hadn't previously seen, like Bikes with Turlo, and several of you guys like Mongrel who just subscribed. So thank all of you guys. Dallas and I can chat anytime, but this is our time to interact with you. And Mr. Will has a question. I'll tell you what, you'll get to close it down, man. If you want to put it up, go ahead. It'll be the last one. But we thank all of you guys, and we are continuing to plug and work forward. And I'm now getting to spend more time working on stuff that I didn't get to the first half in the last 6 weeks. So I'm going to get caught up on a lot of things, and we've got some really exciting stuff coming. It's in the hopper now. But anyway, we'll give Mr. Will a minute here if he's got something he wants to ask. Or you can holler anytime. All these guys can. Wendy English is reminding you to get your seatbelt on.
Okay, no problem.
Don't
I
forget.
can't wear my seatbelt and shift this super awesome short throw shifter, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Ed's saying good night. So, Mr. Will, if you post it, that's cool. If not, you can always just shoot it over to me, man. Max Wage Dastardly Rich Resnick.
Hey, well, I appreciate everybody coming by, and I appreciate all the people that threw some money at the super chats. Especially if that's a realistic super chat, that $100 one, that's the most I've ever seen on one, actually.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. And we appreciate it. Goes back in the channel to do all this. I haven't dipped a dime in expenses out of everything going on, with the No Name Nationals. All the going to the track, out of my pocket. So, I appreciate that. Okay, here it is. Mr. Will's closing down the show with this question. Any tips on replacing the brake booster on my 69 Charger? I have the new one, but I don't want to crack open any brake lines. What say you on that, Dallas?
Well, I did one on a Chevy truck one time. Oh, as a matter of fact, on my Suburban. It's got the coils that are wound in there, right? And all I did was unbolt it and then pulled the booster out of place. And what I ended up doing was I zip tied the master cylinder forward and then to the side of the fender, right? And so that way it didn't fall over and kink the lines or anything. It just stayed in one spot. And then I pulled the booster out, put my booster in place, and then bolted the master cylinder back up. I didn't even have to crack a brake line.
And that's one good way to do it. My take on it is I would rather go ahead and crack the lines loose for this reason. If I go ahead and crack the lines loose and I get the brake fluid out on my terms, I don't have to worry about spilling it. I don't have to worry about kinking a line. I don't have to worry about putting a little weird bend in it doing that. I don't have to worry about this master cylinder falling. I would rather bleed them to have the peace of mind on doing the R&I on the booster. But, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I'll tell you what, whichever way you choose, video it, put it up. We'd like to see it. That's a pretty good one, actually. All right, and that's it. Thank you, guys. General, probably see you guys in about approximately 2 weeks back with Dallas, and we'll have other guests.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing it from my place again, aren't we?
Probably, yeah, because we'll come down for that'd probably be from Dallas's place.
More recon.
Yep.
Yeah, more recon and more things, get things more sorted out, I guess. But,
great. Great stuff in the hopper. And as Irish Outlaw Garage says, later. We'll see y'all.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.